Here it is. Psychology, a book in here? Hope it's not a book in here. Skill use is 100% free forever. Is there a cult book? Manipulation. Crap, sorry, I saw an achievement pop up called Double Game and I want to see what that's all about. Oh, just complete the quest, oh, well.
Reassure me, we aren't going to have to force that one, are we?
I don't think we're even capable of doing it. You're going to have to find a way to open it.
Why, of course. And what's inside?
Something to vanquish them with?
Perfect. So, how does it open?
We'll need several keys. I found a note from the architect who conceived the mechanism in Mortimer's secret study. We have to first gather 6 objects before we try anything.
That says 5 in the
Are
subtitle.
your 6 objects the keys?
Exactly. We have the
That's
Clement
bad.
III cross, the nails, the Gutenberg Bible, the exegesis of Judas, an armillary sphere, and all we need to match up the dates between the different calendars.
Some nails?
Don't ask me. I'm not the one who made the mechanism, you know. When I arrived, there were already a few of them inserted, so I didn't have to worry about those. On the other hand, I remember seeing some in Mortimer's secret study, behind his nightmare.
And a golden cup? Yes. Yes, I saw them too.
Perfect. It will be easy for you to find them then. You need 3 of them.
Very well.
You remember what to do about the rollers. 1191 to enter, and 6466 to exit.
Of course.
No, it was 9499. What?
Why a cross?
Well, I haven't the foggiest idea, but it just so happens that's what you are going to use to activate the mechanism. I found the one Mortimer kept. It belonged to Cardinal Guibert, better known by the name of Pope Clement III.
Perfect. Where is it?
Unfortunately, I've lost it. When I lost my hand, I went dashing out, and it must have fallen from my pocket.
Remember, Mother. I'm certain you can remember.
Let me think.
You were running.
I was bleeding to death.
You remember the pain.
I thought I was going to faint. Yes, I remember. I don't think it can be far, can it?
Would you have lost it outside?
No, I don't think so. It must be in the area. I don't remember going up with it.
Perfect. I'll search the crypt before leaving. Some nails?
Don't ask me. I'm not the one who made the mechanism, you know.
Crap, I nailed
When
it.
I arrived, there were already a few of them inserted, so I didn't have to worry about those. On the other hand, I remember seeing some in Mortimer's secret study, behind his nightmare.
And a golden cup? Yes. Yes, I saw them too.
Perfect. It will be easy for you to find them then. You need 3 of them.
Yeah, tell me that combo
well.
again.
You remember what to do about the rollers. 1191 to enter, and 6466 to exit.
Of course.
Just keeping a light notepad.
Exegesis. Anything else?
Did you manage to vanquish the Medusa?
To open the chimney? Yes, absolutely.
So you've already come across it. It's the Bible of Judas that is exposed in the secret room behind the chimney.
Any of these items.
Why do they call it an exegesis?
Because that's what it is, and not an apocryphal Bible, strictly speaking. It's the study of a text with a summary, not an actual Bible. Anyway, well done for the Gorgon. You did well. You didn't get tricked by the light bouncing back.
Thanks. Do you think I can take it safely?
We haven't got a choice, Louis. Without it, we won't be able to work out this cursed mechanism.
So the cross goes in there.
There's one in the portrait gallery.
What?
That's right.
You still believe it's in the tower room, don't you?
I don't know. There is only one way to find out, though.
Right. I shall go and see.
Like her model puts her arms up like her hands are supposed to be crossed, but her arms
There's
are
one in the
straight.
portrait gallery.
Yes, but it's enormous. If you don't want to have to go back and forth several times, then I suggest you get a smaller one.
What did you do then?
I didn't think I'd need one. I started without one, and I lost my hand before I did need one. And you can see the result.
She lost her hand in this.
What do you mean by the concordance of dates exactly?
Don't worry about that. We already have them. They are written on the back of the message I just gave you.
There's one in the portrait gallery.
That's not what he's supposed to say.
That's right.
Well, when they put this thing out the door, there's some mistakes.
I don't know. There is only one way to find out, though.
Right. I shall go and see.
One last thing before you go. Be very careful. If you come across anyone, they can all potentially be spies of Mortimer or Holm. Don't ever confide in anyone because a demon can slip inside them at any moment.
Wait, not all of them though. Take Washington.
Especially Washington. He's been conditioned by Mortimer for years. Look at them, for crying out loud. How do you explain their behavior otherwise? The most influential politicians in the Western world gather together without the least protection, without a single aid to assist them, to participate in a conference during which the guests start dropping like flies. Me, Adams, Peru, Hillsborough. Look at the number of calamities that have happened over the past few days.
So you want to open this on a whim?
One of them has asked to leave the island? Do you find that normal? You'll see. Go up to the manor to look for the keys, and I wager not one of them will speak to you about my being in Emily's room.
Do you think so?
Go on, you'll see. And come back with all the objects in one go. Time is against us. And remember, the code to get out of the secret office is 6646.
Why are these all screwed up?
Tell me, Mother, you wouldn't know anything that might save me some time, would you?
That's where you'll have to put the Clement III cross. You insert the cross into the slot, and it will open the iris.
Let's see if I can work it out myself. It looks like a kind of control panel.
It looks like certain mechanisms I've seen before. I wouldn't be surprised if I had to put the Clement III cross in it. There's a cross-shaped slot there. I'd say you've got to place a Clement III
Oh wow, what
cross
a
in
wasteful
it.
point.
You ought to go, Louis. If someone finds us here, the situation might well become seriously complicated.
More jelly.
What on earth is that? A disc with information engraved in the metal? An iris that should open, I imagine, and blood.
There are Roman numerals, Arab numbers, and town names.
Go on. I'm listening. What do you think?
All the town names mentioned have something to do with Christ, haven't they? Golgotha, Bethlehem, Nazareth.
Exactly.
Tell me, I imagine that once we've solved this enigma, the iris opens, right?
Exactly.
Did you succeed in opening this iris?
Yes, by putting the cross on the console and the 3 nails on the disc, the iris opens. It gives access to a hole where I put my hand, thinking I could fully open the iris. There's a handle at the bottom, and as you can see, it didn't turn out very well for me.
Mother? The dried blood. There.
Yes, it's mine. Sorry if I stained everything, but I must admit that, at the time, my thoughts were more on the pain than cleaning up after myself.
Famous cross of Clement III.
Oh, it's just here.
One key found.
Oh, trait links. Oh.
The Devil's Thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits. A drachma.
You ought to go, Louis. If someone finds us here, the situation
just had
might
one
well
go.
become seriously complicated.
So we have the cross. I guess I'll just swoop on up to Mortimer's room first. Or I'm already in the Gorgon room. I guess I'll go pick up the book. Finally get to inspect this room. Hey, look, the servant's corpse is gone. Key with occult air symbol. Book. Sweet Amber? Oh no, it's just crap. I'm wigging out. I see it at every turn. My Sweet Amber. Sweet Amber. Every time you bump into it, it makes a noise. That's good. Good eye of detail. She believes something's in this room. Oh wait, no. This is that thing.
Right. It's definitely an armillary sphere, but I have to find one that I can take with me. Otherwise, I risk drawing too much attention to my comings and goings. Now, where can I find a smaller one?
Yep, nothing interesting. Coins.
Right. Let's see if the statues are in place yet. Shield toward the sword. Well, that's good. The statue is already in the right place. The lantern is already in the right position. Turned toward the shield.
Now I gotta point her towards the...
That statue is not positioned correctly. Open sesame.
Oh, she left that pendant here, eh?
And given all the relics preserved here, it wouldn't surprise me if Mortimer claimed it was Excalibur. Caesar's laurel wreath. If Mortimer really is what my mother says he is.
If he really was around, he's been around for a long
No,
time.
that's
Well,
impossible.
he was Caesar.
No, not Caesar.
Hello, book.
So that's the exegesis of Judas. I hope Mortimer doesn't read it very often, otherwise he's going to notice that someone's stolen it. But that's just too bad. I need it.
Got it.
So that's Pandora's box? An urn? Mother seemed worried that I was able to open it. I wonder why.
If it's actually Pandora's box, you stay away from
not
it.
to touch it.
Nothing?
The Ring of the Nibelungs. Even if Mortimer is several centuries old, I don't see what part he has in this Right. I've got what I need. Now let's not waste any more time.
There's a switch there. Yeah. Okay. I need a smaller armillary sphere, which I can swing up to Mortimer's room. We have no idea where the sphere is. Secret room in the portrait gallery. Yeah, I got that. Used by Emma in the tower room. Okay. Let me go hit the tower room. I guess it's on the way.
Monsieur Johann von Wulna.
Stepping in here, get my ass blown open again? No. It's even in? Where is everybody, actually? Probably doesn't serve much to be going through people's stuff, but I always miss something, right? Oh, hey!
An armillary sphere. Perfect. That will save me
What a
some time.
nice place to stop
I only
in.
hope that he isn't going to realize it right away.
Alright, so then the tower room and upstairs, and we're good to swing. Tower room. Actually, right next door. What a nice random stop.
Ah, Louis. Glad you're here.
What are you doing here?
Blasted. He's gonna talk about my mother.
Come and see what I've found. There are pieces of paper in the ashes of the chimney. Someone's been burning something here.
He's
Incredible.
acting a little
He
weird.
doesn't seem to want to speak to me about what happened between my mother and the Hillsborough sisters.
Show me a little.
Look, it's possible to distinguish two different writing styles.
The rest of the correspondence between my mother and Emma.
Someone tried to burn an exchange of messages. I'm certain. There must be more.
Shit. What
So
on
yeah, they're
earth is he
really
doing?
working at trying to get me to show up, eh?
Ah, I see. I know what it's about.
Do you know
I almost
who's
chose the free
doing the
one.
communicating in this room?
Yes, but of course we must keep it to ourselves because it is still a sensitive matter. Volner and Elizabeth had an affair. Volner hinted that he found a way to remain discreet about it. I admit it is ingenious.
Well, I would never have guessed.
Delighted to have helped, but I still have to find my mother.
After the whole
Of
demon
course.
thing, everything seems
We shall
super
see each
weird
other
now.
later in that case.
Wasted enough time. The Bible. Dante's Paradise.
Yeah, I always fall for that.
Raise
don't
your head and be reassured. For what comes up here from the mortal
How's that
world
door half shut?
must ripen.
Yeah,
in
this
our
book,
age.
right?
The Bible's still there.
Now to Mortimer's. Should actually be right nearby. Yep. Oh, everything's nice and together, ain't it? Almost like it's trying to get me to avoid going to Pierogi's room. Sorry, Birdie. I wonder if this would have been inaccessible if I got trapped in it at some point.
Right. This time, it'll be a lot quicker.
Is it gonna have me
If I
do it?
remember rightly, the code was 1191.
You know what? I'm glad that thing doesn't make too much of a loud noise. What if he's in here? Dude, if he's in here, I'm screwed.
Of
I
course.
mean, without doubt, screwed.
Weaknesses of the Human Psyche by Gilhelm Trimor.
Oh yeah, this thing again.
Gilhelm Trimor. Trimor. An anagram of Mortimer. Wow. Arrogant enough to publish writings on mental control in full view of everyone. I wonder who he's writing for.
Wow, that's a good reveal.
If Mortimer really is what my mother says he is, this map of the world's slave traffic is even worse than I thought. If Mortimer's plan succeeds, the United States will indeed double in size. It would mean the end of the Spanish presence in North America.
What is to gain there?
The map of Europe. Someone's written 26 million in France. It's the estimated population of France. Mortimer knows very well that France has a higher population than its neighbors. He's preparing for it to go to war and knows he can make it happen by stirring up the people. I'm standing in front of a lesson of absolute mastery in military strategy, which is absolutely spine-chilling if it turns out that Mortimer is a demon. Troops are directed towards Italy. I get the feeling that Piaggi's going to be in for a hard time.
Wow, interesting. So he's counting on
It's locked.
the population alone to be strong enough, huh? Just the numbers
Conference
alone
might be
enough
focused
to
on the
carry
United
them
States,
through
but
wars.
Mortimer has an eye everywhere, which is not very reassuring if he really is a demon. The conference might be
damn it.
focused on the United States, but Mortimer has an eye everywhere,
I'm
which
sorry, I
is
didn't
not
mean to
very
click it
reassuring
again.
if he really is a demon. There! Those are the nails I was looking for. I noticed they were old and rusty, but I hadn't noticed these traces of... Could that be blood? Is it really the relic of the Holy Cross?
Oh,
I can hardly believe it.
yeah, the nails put in Jesus? That'd be nuts.
A hand of tarot cards. I should have learned my lessons in card reading a little better.
Well, I already read it. It would just be a waste, right?
Feathers, pigeons probably. Looks like obsidian or onyx. It must weigh a ton.
This looks interesting.
What on earth could that be?
Has he been back in here since I've come through?
A Van Leeuwenhoek microscope? The most sophisticated microscope there is. When I think of the difficulty the
Not
Order
gonna
had in
read that
getting
in.
hold of one of these,
Even though it might mean more with the revelation of him being a demon. Alright, so...
Alright, come on, let's get out of here. 6466, if I remember
Why is
correctly.
everyone doing it differently? They did it for me! Oh my god, everything's...
A painting.
I think
Looks
this might be put in
unfinished.
more context if he is a
Piece by
demon.
Lord Mortimer, I presume. A rather avant-garde technique. The Titan against men. How ironic.
Maybe it's symbolic to him wanting to rule over the world. But it really raises the question of what his ultimate goal would be then. I mean, all things considered, at least in my human mind, having digs like this should really just be the pinnacle of it all. But what does he want? What is his actual goal? Is it some higher power thing? Satan? Is he a normal man just trying to make more money? Trying to put himself at the head of something? He could have easily put his name in the history books. But if it really is him through all these ages, of course he'd want to keep that shit on the low. It says meet Sarah instead of meet mother. Getting on a very personal level here, are we? Still nervous about that poison thing, unless the poison thing was just to give me the hothead perk. In which case, what a horrid poison. To make me have to spend more points in logic.
So, good. You've managed to gather all the keys.
Yes, that's right. I have everything. What should I start with?
Place the Clement III cross on the console.
She says it with
Then you
confidence.
have to put the nails on the disc of the door.
What hole should I put the nails in?
Well, I can't really advise you there, because I haven't
guess
exactly
I'm gonna
made the
lose a
best
hand,
choices
too?
myself. All I can say is that you have to insert 1 to choose a town, 1 to choose a chapter, and 1 to choose a verse. Those are Roman numerals on the disc.
What theme did you start with?
As the fresco shows the birth of Christ, I placed 1 nail in Bethlehem, one in chapter 2 and one in verse 6. The iris opened a little. I thought it was normal. Behind the aperture of the iris, there is a duct in which I put my hand. I felt something like a valve at the bottom. I thought by turning it the door would open, or the iris would open completely, or something else would happen. Instead, I felt something like an axe cut off my hand. I really thought it was the end of me.
What did you do then?
Well, although I had made some unfortunate choices,
So you
I
had
was
the
lucky
nails?
in that Mortimer was well stocked with drugs. I raided his supplies of medicine.
All right, my turn now.
Alright.
Go ahead, impress me. I'll shut up and let you concentrate.
Well, I really don't know what to choose. So...
This exegesis contains comments from Judas on the different Gospels. It only contains certain chapters and verses, and the chapters are indicated by Roman numerals. The lexicon refers to different chapters and verses from the exegesis of Judas. Chapter 2, verse 6. Jesus was born of Mary and Joseph on the 22nd of Teveth at midnight, 3762, in the village of Bethlehem.
Huh.
Chapter 2, verse 6. And so it was that, while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered of a child. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. The cycle of the moons has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now.
But I needed one, so I...
The fresco clearly shows the birth of Christ.
Louis, I can assure you that that is not the solution to this enigma. This fresco's only purpose is to mislead. I know that now. Please, focus on another theme about Christ.
We'll have to trust her. You could see that the paint has come off in parts. Difficult to see what was there, but I can distinguish the letters N-R-I. Nothing more.
NRI. Wrong one.
Why, of course. I-N-R-I. Jesus Nazarenus Rex Eudorum. These initials stand for Jesus the Nazarene, King of the Jews. This is the inscription which appears on the cross at the crucifixion of Jesus. If Mortimer deliberately set a trap by showing the birth of Christ, then maybe the solution is the contrary. The death of Christ in that case? It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions. These towns have one thing in common. They're all related to the life and death of Jesus. For example, Jordan is the place of the baptism of Christ.
Okay, so...
Chapter 14, verse
I didn't
22.
want that one, but I guess I'll listen to
On the
it.
7th of Nisan, 3793, Jesus shared his Last Supper in the Cenacle in Jerusalem. Chapter 14, verse 22.
Let's go
On the
back.
7th of Nisan, 3793,
Well, I guess I might as
Jesus
well listen
shared
to
his
this one
Last
through, right?
Supper in the Cenacle in Jerusalem. Chapter 14, verse 22. And as they did eat, Jesus took bread and blessed and broke it, and gave to them and said, "Take, eat. This is my body." And he took the cup, and when he'd given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank of it. Chapter 24, verse 3. Jesus rose from the dead on the 14th of Nisan, 3793, in Nazareth. He appeared with a halo above his head. Chapter 24, verse 3. Jesus rose from the dead on the 14th of Nisan, 3793, in Nazareth. He appeared with a halo above his head. Chapter 24, verse 3. But when they entered, they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus. While they were wondering about this, suddenly 2 men in clothes that gleamed like lightning stood beside them. In their fright, the women bowed down with their faces to the ground. But the men said to them, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here. He has risen. Remember how he told you while he was still with you in Galilee."
There we go. Let's do that. Yeah. Is that pierogi?
The cycle of the moons has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. Cross is stuck in the mechanism. I can't do anything. Chapter 1, verse 9. Jesus was baptized by John in Jordan on the 9th of Hesvan, 3852.
What's that blank one up there? Oh, it's not blank, it says faint.
What theme did you start with?
As the fresco shows the birth of Christ, I placed 1 nail in Bethlehem,
Chapter 2,
1
which is over
in
there.
chapter 2, and 1 in verse 6. The iris opened a little. I thought it was normal. Behind the aperture of the iris, there is a duct in which I put my hand. I felt something like a valve at the bottom. I thought by turning it the door would open, or the iris would open completely, or something else would happen. Instead, I felt something like an axe cut off my hand. I really thought it was the end of me.
What did you do then?
Well, although I had made some unfortunate choices, I was lucky in that Mortimer was well stocked with drugs. I raided his supplies of medicine.
What hole should I put the nails in?
Well, I can't really advise you there, because I haven't exactly made the best choices myself. All I can say is that you have to insert 1 to choose a town, 1 to choose a chapter, and 1 to choose a verse. Those are Roman numerals on the disc.
Alright, I just gotta find something that matches up then, I guess. Wow, these long delays are really off. Like, why am I stuck here? Game, let me go. You can run from her. She can't keep you here any longer. Oh, there we go. So we've determined that we think it has something to do with the death of him.
Chapter 3, verse 18. Words truly pronounced in Abagash. Chapter 3, verse 18. He that believeth in him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God.
Ain't it?
Chapter 5, Verse 2. Jesus cures the sick and lame on the 8th of Adar, 3791, in Jerusalem, at the pool of Bethesda. All stand and fling away their canes.
It's not it.
Chapter 5, verse 2. Jesus cures the sick and lame on the 8th of Adar, 3791, in Jerusalem, at the pool of Bethesda. All stand and fling away their canes. Chapter 14, verse 22. On the 7th of Nisan, 3793, Jesus shared his Last Supper in the Cenacle in Jerusalem. Chapter 14, verse 22. And as they did eat, Jesus took bread and blessed and broke it and gave to them and said,
this one's racking
"Take,
my brain.
eat. This is my body." And he took the cup, and when he'd given thanks,
It'd be nice if I had
he gave
more
it to them,
extensive knowledge
and
of
they
the Bible,
all drank
I
of it.
suppose. Dean's not even on this list.
Chapter 7, verse 11.
7-11.
Jesus went to Nain.
Jesus never went to
Chapter
Nain.
7, verse 11. And it came to pass the day after, he went into a city called Nain, and many of his disciples went with him, and many people. Chapter 19, verse 17.
I see it.
Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he,
19 on
bearing
there?
his cross,
Yes, there is.
went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst.
So we have Jerusalem, this one, and then go to 17. Did I not insert those nails?
Cross is stuck in the mechanism. I can't do anything.
So that didn't actually cause anything to happen, and this, of course, is still useless to me.
The cycle of the moons has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now.
I placed them wrong? So if I choose Bethlehem, I don't remember which one she chose.
Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head.
What's these dates? Ramadan, Sashi. Those don't mean anything to me yet.
It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions.
So should it have automatically opened up if it was the right thing? What was yours again? Yours was the birth, right? It's a lot easier to look at birth, right?
Chapter 2, verse 6.
2, 6.
Jesus was born
Bethlehem.
of Mary and Joseph on the 22nd of Taveth at midnight, 3762, in the village of Bethlehem.
I just want to see it move. 6. Oh.
Interesting.
Louis, you are doing what I've already done. I told you it wouldn't
I'm just
work.
looking, Mother.
You need to find another subject than the birth of Christ.
I know, I just need something other than 17. Are we gonna have this talk every time? If so, I regret this.
Interesting.
Louis, you are doing what I've already done. I told you it wouldn't work. You need to find another subject than the birth of Christ.
I tried going with the crucifixion. It was 17, which is here. Alright. There's no other 17 in here. Not even in Roman numerals. Could it be a different town? Oh, shit! Well, fuck. That worked.
It works.
Well done, Louis. I hadn't seen those other wheels. Try connecting the theme to see if it goes all the way.
No, I'll just put my hand in. Yeah, let's look at the
There must
inside
surely
wheels.
be a connection between the wheels. There are different icons on this wheel, but it looks like
Mother, what do you think?
As I told you, I didn't get that far.
Right, but you can give it some fucking
Nevertheless,
thought.
these icons do represent moments in the life of Christ.
Thorn.
This wheel contains several symbols made up of 1 or 2 figures and 1 letter. The highest figure does not exceed 31, and each letter corresponds to a month of the year. A for April, and M for March.
Oh my god, this
I think
puzzle
these
sucks.
symbols must represent a specific date. This wheel represents the different moons. In the occult sciences, we represent the full moon by an X. As for the dark moon, called the new moon, in cults, it's often associated with something harmful.
Look at this. There are notches between each of the wheels. So, I have to link the name of the town from the theme I've chosen to an icon, then to a date, and finally, the date to the moon.
So... Huh.
During new moon, the moon is entirely in the shadow. Then, the shadow moves from west to east, meaning left to right, and goes through the following states: waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent, and the cycle starts over with the full shadowed new moon.
The moon shadow moves from west to east. 7th of Shaban, 607, first quarter.
Assuming that everything needs to point
Let's see
somewhere.
what combination corresponds to the chosen theme.
Oh.
According to the architect's notes in the armillary sphere, the moon during the crucifixion was a first quarter. That's the one with its left half in the light.
Okay, but the crucifixion happened in Go now then, eh? It's first half of... Crap.
Let's see what combination corresponds to the chosen theme. According to the architect's notes in the armillary sphere, the moon during the crucifixion was a first quarter. That's the one with its left half in the light. The moon's shadow moves from west to east. During new moon, the moon is entirely in the shadow. Then, the shadow moves from west to east, meaning left to right, and goes through the following states: waxing crescents, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent, and the cycle starts over with the full shadowed new moon.
So that's... Can I clean away the blood? Bet you that's full.
In the occult sciences, we represent the full moon by an X.
That's
As for
totally the
dark
full moon, the one covered in
called
blood.
A new moon. In cults, it's often associated with something harmful.
So, I'm not even fully understanding what the lineup here is.
Let's see what combination corresponds to the chosen theme. According to the architect's notes in the armillary sphere, the moon during the crucifixion was a first quarter.
Which is the top
That's
one.
the one with its left half in the light.
So that one goes go, 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 go. So let's organize. Now let's look at the dates. Let's assume I have that right.
This wheel contains several symbols made up of one or two figures and one letter. The highest figure does not exceed 31, and each letter corresponds to a month of the year. A
So
for
when
April,
was he crucified?
and M for March. I think these symbols must represent a specific date.
Right, okay,
Look
so
at this.
when he was crucified.
They're notches between each of the wheels. So, I have to link the name of the town from the theme I've chosen to an icon, then to a date, and finally, the date to the moon.
Crown of Thorns goes on his crucifixion, right? Yep. So now we need the dates. So his crucifixion occurred.
Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and two others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst. Chapter 19,
What was
verse
that date
17.
again?
And he, bearing his cross, went
Oh,
forth
wrong one.
into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and two others with him, on either side, and Jesus
Crucified in half
in the
moon,
midst.
crown of thorns on him.
Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head.
Read that again just so I know.
Chapter 19,
I wrote that shit down.
verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head.
Okay, so now we've got 8th Nissan. Here we go, 8th Nissan 7 Shaban. What? Man, this is gonna screw me up so bad. Okay, so 8th Nissan 3793. So April 1st, which is in here, equals 14th of Nissan. So if we go to the 8th of Nissan, so it's like 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. That's 7 back. So 7 back for March, April. So it would be somewhere in March. The 26th of March. But that bloody stain there, I'm willing to believe it's 26th of March. However, no, I feel like that's right. Here we go.
I can feel the lever at the bottom.
Good luck.
Okay, let's think about this. Crown of Thorns. Golgotha. He was killed there. It was the waxing, or it was the first quarter, so the first quarter's set on that. I'm pretty sure it's 26th of March, because the 14th of Nissan 3793 equals this, which ultimately translates into April 1st, 33. I don't know the relevance of 33, though. So, if we want to be a little more specific, I wonder if any of these other symbols are supposed to match up. Because currently, the swaddling of Jesus is not lined up, but he was crucified here. I don't see anything death-related. Just halo above his head. That's not it. It's born in Nazareth, though. It's the crown of thorns. So, we'll reconfirm. So, 14 to 8 is a 6-day difference. I'll bring up a calculator. Date calculator, just to be sure. Date calculation. So, add or subtract days. April 1st. Subtract 6 days. Let's see, 14 to 8, right? So, that's 6 days. So, subtract 6 days. Lands on March 26th, which I currently have set. 26th of March. Alright.
I can feel the lever at the bottom.
Good luck.
Damn it! That was it, wasn't it? Damn it! I tried using an item to swip my hand out and it said no. If only I maxed out agility! Oh my god, I lost my hand. God damn it, that's how it's really gonna end on me? Crap! No! I thought I had it. What could it have been? Now I'm handless. Did I have the symbol wrong? I just assumed the crown of thorns would be a part of it. Crap, I want to redo it, but I can't. Tune in next time, where I lose my other hand.